One of the Palestinians killed last year was 78-year Omar Assad, who died after soldiers detained him at a West Bank checkpoint, bound his hands behind his back, blindfolded him, and then left him at a construction site for hours exposed to freezing cold weather. He was found dead there of what Palestinian health officials said was a, quote, stress-induced heart attack. Now, the IDF, which earlier said the incident showed a lack of moral considerations, concluded its investigation into the incident this week, saying the soldiers involved would be reprimanded but not face any criminal charges. But Assad held U.S. citizenship, and the Biden administration pressed Jerusalem to carry out a thorough probe. Yesterday, the State Department spokesman Matthew Miller expressed the administration's dissatisfaction with the conclusion of that investigation.
We expected a thorough criminal investigation and full accountability. We have been clear about our deep concern on the circumstances surrounding Omar Assad's death and the need for such accountability. Israel itself stated that the incident showed a clear lapse of moral judgment and a failure to protect the sanctity of human life. Since Mr. Assad's tragic death, we have continued to discuss this troubling incident with the Israeli government. We're aware of the conclusion of the investigation, and we are at this time seeking more information from the Israeli government.
Danny, without exaggerating the impact of this thing, it is yet another incident causing friction between the Biden administration and the Israeli government at a time of very tense relations. I'll give you an example. I've reported that Benjamin Netanyahu has refused to allow any of his ministers now to fly to Washington until he gets that White House invitation, which is why Minister Gallant went to Brussels to meet Lloyd Austin. We reported that earlier. And yet here is another. Maybe the tone would have been a little less sharp there if it didn't have the backdrop of those tensions.
Well, on this issue of IDF conduct, this is the second strike against Israel lately after the Shireen, the reporter,
Shireen Abu Akleh case. Which, yeah.
So this is very unfortunate, and Israel really prides itself for the moral attitude and the high ground that the IDF takes, and the Israeli and the Jewish morals, and I think this is also the case here. Whether the punishment is,
whether it fits the
commensurate, with the crime, this is something of judges, and I have full confidence in the judicial system in Israel. So I'm sure that there were some mitigating circumstances for these soldiers, and also I think the Americans should understand that reprimanding any measure, any disciplinary measure against Israeli soldiers, against the IDF, is something of I would say an extreme measure that we take here, and they need explanations. I'm sure that our system is quite adept at answering all their questions, and I'm sure that this will not cause any undue disturbances.
Well, there is the issue of some ministers in the government looking to excuse actions of soldiers that may aggravate. That's the situation that you have described.
And this will not be the case because Bibi Netanyahu understands this issue, and he will not let what Smotrich and Ben-Gvir are calling for.
Right. Okay, Ambassador Danny Ayalon, thank you for that.